Camera number 410 is the Ensign Selfix 420. It joins a series of cameras that were produced from around about the 1930s right the way through to I believe the 50s, and it's obviously a bellows folding camera. Takes 120 film, and these were produced with various lens and shutter combinations, and if I've done my homework correct, this is a pre-1940 version because it has a compure shutter and a 105mm Tessa 4.5 lens. So those two seem to point in the direction of a pre-1940 version of this camera. Quite a nice camera. It really is a pleasure to, or was a pleasure to take out. Unfortunately, this one, which again I managed to obtain via a car boot for £10. Unfortunately, it's missing a little connecting rod that allows you to use the shutter button, which is or is it just there? But if we just manipulate it, you can see what should happen. There should be a little bar going down here that allows the shutter button then to activate the shutter release. So it's missing that, but you can still activate the shutter release with the button, so that's not a problem in my mind. So we've mentioned the lens, the Carl Zeiss Jenner Tessa 4.5 105mm lens. The shutter speeds go from 250 all the way down to 1 second. We have bulb and time as well. And then we have a cable release that is situated here. And actually I used it because the day I went out it was very foggy, so I mounted the camera on a tripod and was able to use the shutter release here, or rather the cable with the shutter. So we have to cock the shutter and then we can release it. I'm not quite sure about the accuracy of these shutter, so we'll find out when we look at the images. When we turn it to bulb, that seems to allow you to just open the shutter at will, really. So that's good. So we have a waist level viewfinder that was characteristic of the time, so you can look down and out. We have a tripod mount here. The camera body release is situated just here, so if we just fold it up just by there we go, and then to open it just simply press the button and then it folds out with the little stand that actually folds away. Just make sure that those two bars are extended fully. And then when we come to the top, as I say, we have the shutter button, the film wind on, and the other take up spool there. And then we have our viewfinder, and then we can look through the viewfinder like that. Now there are two little clues here to a secret that this camera holds. We notice we have two windows, one marked 12 and one marked 8. Yes, this is a dual format camera, and using the viewfinder, this camera currently is set up in terms of the viewfinder for 6x6 format, or 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. I think that's correct. Let me just check that's right. Yes, that is correct. But we can then fold that down and push the little mask out, folding it down and revealing that the other format is a 6x9 or 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and so then we can use this because that's more of a format that is probably more in harmony with a 35mm format rather than the square format that the 6x6 has. So as I say, we have two windows, so depending on which format we've chosen, we just open the window and then we just wind our film on until the number appears in the window. But that's not all. If we open the film door, which we do by pressing this little button and then pulling the window out, you can see that the camera is currently set up for 6 by 9. So how do you get 6 by 6? Well, if we take out the take-up spool, if we can, if the camera will allow me to. Oops, there we go. We have 2 little blinds that are hidden. There we go, there's one that folds out, and then if we can get the other one, I'm not sure that one's so easy to get out, unfortunately, so I will stop the video and see if I can get it out. Right, after some difficulty, the take-up spool and the little springy thing that keeps the spool in place can prevent you from getting it. But here we are, here's the 2 blinds that fold away, 2 little doors, and so now we have the square format of 6 by 6. And so when we close our door after having put the film in, we obviously choose 12 exposures for the 6 by 6, and then if we fold those away, we then choose 8 exposures from a 120 film. Okay, there we go. And a little bit of historical memorabilia. Ensign, asked for Ensign, size 20 film. So there we go. I think that's it. I have noticed, yes, this little mechanism here is wanting, so I'll actually have to be careful of that, because it might make the camera more difficult to use, so be careful of that. There we go. So put that down and turn the camera to its rightful place. So there we go. So there's an interesting camera. Let's see how we get on as we go out and take some images. As I say, it's a very misty day that I went out with this camera, so we'll see if we've got any images. But in the meantime, this is camera number 410, the Ensign Selfix 420.